Jeez. Check this out, dude. Ariane. Check it. Like, I text her, I said, hey, I know you're, ring girl and all this, but you got to just leave it be. I'm not moving to Las Vegas. I'm just like, I can't believe this.
Are you serious? My God.
You know, you think these girls are like, you know,
she attached
nice
some pictures. She attached some pictures. Oh,
jeez. Well,
you might want to reconsider that.
Vegas in the
not
summer.
That far of a drive.
You got air conditioning. Oh man. What's up, guys? This is Brian.
Jesse.
You're watching MMA the hard way
in the car.
Well, UFC is going to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and finally get to see one of my favorite fighters, Dan Henderson.
H-bomb.
And I gotta say, I'm also a huge fan of Rashad Evans. And you know, there's these articles that came out. They talked about this whole Rocky III effect with Rashad, and like all of a sudden he's like some villain dude or something, and I'm like, I don't get it.
He was never come across like that.
I just don't. I don't understand it. Anyway, getting ahead of ourselves.
Yep.
So we got 11 fights.
So I'll make it quick and and clear.
Here we go.
The first one's Yves Jabouin versus Dustin Page. Dustin's got to win.
Yeah, he's coming off. He lost 2 in a row.
Yeah. So he really has to put in for this one.
Yeah, Yves Jabouin, TriStar guy.
Yep.
And
it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Next one is John McGuire versus Mitch Clark. Mitch Clark's also in a must-win situation. He's 0-2 in the UFC.
Yeah, it's one of those guys. You know, I mean, it's a tough division.
Lightweight's brutal.
Yeah, and
it's brutal.
John McGuire, I think he just put out a really funny video that he's trying to get a bunch of retweets or something like that, and I don't know. It's pretty hilarious.
I gotta check that out.
I got John McGuire on that one. I think he's gonna pull it off.
Unless Mitch just does something dynamic that just catches people off guard. But when you're in desperation, you never know what you could do.
Yeah.
Roland Delorme.
So the first fight on FX.
Yep. First fight.
Yeah, Delorme. I think it's like Delorme.
Versus Edwin Figueroa.
Yeah.
Now Figueroa's got a win over Bedford and Bruce Leroy, which is not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
Delorme's also he's almost had a year off. I'm not sure if it's injuries or what, but I was thinking the last time he fought was last July, and I don't know if we're going to see a little ring rust
or if he's been just keeping up. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so
that's gonna be interesting.
Because Figueroa's going to be super, super hungry. He has nothing to lose, basically.
No, nothing at all. At all.
He's either going to, if he loses, he's out, probably. And if he wins, he's in.
And they're pretty much ranked like 40 spots between each other, so it's not that much of a far stretch.
Yeah.
Up next is Sean Pearson versus Kenny Robertson.
Yeah, what are the rankings on those guys?
Almost close. 62 and 71 respectively.
Yeah.
So pretty close. Pretty close. They're both coming off of wins.
Kenny Robertson, pretty much known for being a submission guy.
Yeah.
And, Sean Pearson, I think he's a slight favorite, I think.
Yeah, he's a slight favorite, but we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Up next, you have Sam Hands of Steel Stout versus James Krause.
Yeah, welcoming the James Krause from RFA.
Yeah, you mentioned you've seen him.
If you haven't seen RFA, take a look. They usually Resurrection Fighting Alliance on AXS TV. This kid, James Krause, has been slaying dudes. Hyper aggressive, tons of energy. He's getting his welcome into the UFC from Sam Stout. I gotta say, hey, Sam Stout, great fighter. He's higher ranked, but I think James Krause is gonna
pull an upset.
I think so. I think he's gonna make a statement with his debut.
Yeah, he's
keep an eye out for that kid.
5-win streak, not bad. Yeah. Next one's the one I'm intrigued with. This one, we're gonna see whose ground control is much better. Tyron Woodley versus Jake Shields. Tyron just came out of that great fight against Jay, and Jake Shields coming back from that fight from Ed Shortfuse Herman. So so that's going to be really good. I see that either the ground cancels each other out, or they're going to just stand and bang. But either way, it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, I think Tyron Woodley's got better cardio, and we've seen Jake struggle with that in the past.
Yeah.
And
starts gassing the later
rounds. He's still a little wooden on his feet. I'm wondering if Tyron Woodley's going to try to use his speed as an advantage there.
That's going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
Next up, your boy Ryan Jimno versus Igor Prokrayev.
Tell you, man,
that's
I think
bang
that's going to be a
fest.
full-blown, slug fest, because Jimo, he's going to stay away from the ground. He wants to keep it on the feet.
Stand and bang.
Yeah, he's a sensationalist, and Prokrayev, man, that guy is a grinder. He's just one of the hardest working guys in the division, and just, I think that one of those guys is going to knock one of the other ones out, or it's going to be like a elbow TKO kind of situation.
Yeah. Up next is your lady friends as well, Alexis Davis versus Rosie Sexton.
It's fantastic to not only do we see these two. The winner of this fight is actually probably going to get the next title shot if Kat Zingano doesn't heal up in time, or they're going to fight Kat Zingano.
And they're ranked really. I mean, I know it's not the division, not very deep, but it's still deep enough. They're ranked up high, 5 and 3 respectively. Yeah,
I gotta give the edge to Alexis Davis. She just, experience-wise, the competition, her fight against, I think it was Shayna Baszler, that is a tough girl to beat.
Yeah.
And I think she's gonna take this one.
All right, and then also,
but it's also great, just to add, to see them on the pay-per-view. They're not just on the FX card.
Yeah.
That's huge thumbs up to UFC for doing that.
And then up next is you have Sean Jordan versus Pat Barry. That's going to be a really, really good fight too.
Sean Jordan and Pat Barry. Yeah,
that's going to be lots of slugs and lots of kicks.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Pat Barry is such a technical, K1 level kickboxer. Yeah. But I also wonder, okay, which Pat Barry is going to show up?
The emotional one or the beast?
Yeah, the guy that just scares you to death, and the guy that knocked out Shane Novasario.
Oh, man.
I mean, that dude surprised me.
Yeah.
And, I'm such a big Pat Barry fan just because, you got to dig his sense of humor.
He's funny. If you follow his twits, man, the guy's a freaking clown.
Yeah.
Then up next is Roy Nelson versus Stipe Miocic. I always get it wrong.
Stipe Miocic, yep. Boy, I think this is a big step up for Stipe. I'm really surprised that they gave him Roy. And Roy is probably just saying to himself, hey, if I got to knock another dude out to get a title shot, I don't care. Well,
in his words, he's not going to get one, according to him, because of him and his love with Dana White, but that's another conversation. I see this one ending pretty quick. That might be also Bangfest. And then up next, our boy Dan Hendo versus Rashad Evans.
Man, and I saw the frustration in Dan's corner when he was fighting Machida. How Machida just didn't want to engage, which everyone knew.
The same thing that Hua said about him when they first fought. He says this guy just runs backwards half the time.
Yeah, but it's like, you say what you want. It's a strategy. Yeah. And as much as I dig Hendo,
great counter striker,
it's like, hey, Hendo, you got to let guys come on in. You don't have to charge forward. You can just stand there and let them wait
come
for
to you.
And then you just sit there and you have counter striking, I suppose, just has to be part of your game.
Mm-hmm. It has to be. You just can't sit there and charge. You have to kind of draw them in and land that H bomb. That fight really intrigues me because now I'm hoping it's sort of like along the lines of Dan Hendo versus Shogun. That was an epic fight. Reminds me of when Fedor fought Crow Cop back in Pride. I hope that Rashad, he's probably going to initiate some kind of takedowns, try and take it down to the ground. I just hope it's not a hump fest, like you said.
Yeah, and Hendo's already kind of doing psychological warfare, too. You've seen his latest press conference. he's saying, yeah, as long as the guy doesn't hunt me to death,
Yeah.
and, blah 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 blah, and I'm like,
Or
yeah,
backpedal.
he's trying to set it up to
Yeah.
where Rashad, will engage with him. But
Rashad could strike.
he's
He
got
could strike.
a speed advantage,
Yeah.
I think, for sure.
Kicks.
I think his footwork, his speed,
Mm-hmm.
and wrestling wise, I gotta say, no, in the clinch, I'd probably give the edge to Hendo.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just wrestling, like someone being able to pull a double leg.
Straight freestyle
Dude,
wrestling.
Rashad can pull that
yeah.
double leg.
Yeah.
And this is a guy, Rashad, the only guy to go to decision with John Jones. And
Which is pretty impressive. It's a loss, but he went 5 rounds.
Yeah.
No one's gone that far with John Jones.
Yeah, the thing
Nobody.
is, with these guys, Hendo gets a title shot if he wins.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad probably still has to face somebody else.
But in the words of Almighty Dana, it's how devastating is the win.
That's why I'm saying, I think Rashad's coming into this fight saying, if I can be the first dude to ever knock out Dan Henderson, they got to give me a title shot.
That's
what's going to make it exciting.
If he doesn't get a title shot, at least a title and elimination type fight where he fights, and that pretty much subs up
that
the
group is
thing.
getting so tight with
is.
Teixeira on the horizon there, and that light heavyweight, that top 10, those guys, you could flip flop any of those guys,
Yeah.
and they're all good to go.
They're right. They're pretty much ready.
Hey, well, that's all the time we've got. So just want to thank you, and subscribe right up there, and please share this with your friends. And I want to thank Fight Matrix for supplying us with all of the information.
Kick-ass stats. Kick-ass stats.
Get everything. And we got some great videos coming up, so stay tuned, subscribe, and that's all we've got.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for the support, my friends.
Take it easy.